Good morning and welcome back. This is lecture 6 in our historic video lecture series. I have 20 words for you today and I'll go through them as quickly as I can. Let's not waste any time and attack. First one, guys, it's an adjective, jovial. It means noticeably happy and optimistic, high in spirits, and merry, like Merry Christmas. In my own mind, and I have this on your handout, guys, it just means cheerful. She is jovial, they are jovial, just someone who is full of fun and laughter. In Korean, ajukwe hwaran. Let's go to the next one. It's a noun, posterity. Will you say it with me? Posterity. Just simply means all future generations. Let's see here. In Korean, oh, easy. Husei. Husei. Say it with me, guys, the English. Posterity. So, it's 2021 at the time of our lecture. Imagine 2121, 100 years from now. It's difficult to imagine, isn't it? Rest assured, it will transpire. I will still be teaching at Hoofs. This is not on your paper, guys, but sometimes I hear posterity used this way. Remote posterity or distant posterity. What do you think that means? Distant posterity. It just means deep into the future, future generations. Do you ever think about posterity? Guys, I'm going to say something that will probably blow your mind. Not only will you have children, if you don't, that's okay. I don't have children. I don't even have a cat. But some of you, someday, may start a family of your own. And your children will have children. And they will have children. And so on and so forth. That's posterity. Okay, Husei, moving right along, guys. This next one, I really like this word, megalopolis. Will you please say it with me? Megalopolis. I guess it's 4 syllables. Megalopolis. Megalopolis. Good. Megalopolis. On your handout, I have supercity. There is a technical definition. Students, you know the word metropolis? Those two words are used interchangeably, but they are technically different. Megalopolis is when 2 large cities, or 2 or more, grow together. Let's see here, what do I have? Oh, well, here's a classic example, guys. This is a photograph of Tokyo, Greater Tokyo. I once read that it's easier to think of Tokyo as 13 cities that have all grown together. Now, take a look at this. This is a satellite image of the east coast of the United States. And you can see the city lights here, and it illustrates 5 cities. What do we have here? Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. Now, guys, these are 5 different cities. 4 of them are in different states, but take a look at this. Look at this. 4 different cities, but as you can see, over the last 200 years, they have grown together to become one giant city, or a megalopolis. Can you think of an example of a megalopolis? While I'm drinking coffee, please think about a megalopolis. Cold coffee, yuck. I'll give you a hint. It's the capital of your country. Yes, Seoul, I think, by definition, is a megalopolis because Seoul City by itself, Seoul alone is 10 million people. But Incheon, Suwon, Gyeonggi-do, Seoul, over the years, has become a megalopolis. The subway has connected all those different regions, and now, at least in my eyes, it's a megalopolis. But it's often used, that word, megalopolis, used a little loosely. In other words, it does not have to be New York City, Philadelphia, Washington, and so on and so forth. Sometimes they just use it to mean a giant city. Take a look at this. Do you recognize this? Where is this? I'll give you a hint. It's in Asia. It's easier to recognize at night. Hong Kong. This photograph is taken from Victoria Peak. Have you ever been to Hong Kong? People say it's a megalopolis. It certainly is a big city. I don't want to get myself in trouble, but when was it? 2017, I went to Shanghai. And in 2018, I went to Hong Kong. And let me be clear, I had a sensational experience in both cities. By the way, I think Shanghai also could be described as a megalopolis, but maybe just because Hong Kong is more fresh in my memory, I enjoyed Hong Kong more. But Shanghai is Daebak, and I have friends who've been to both, and they liked Shanghai more. So really the only answer is to visit both cities. But I would be interested in your opinion and knowing which one you like more. I will say, as a foreigner, Hong Kong is easier to navigate. Many of the taxi drivers speak English because of it was ruled by England for since the 1840s. So there's strong British influence, and many people seem to be bilingual. Whereas in Shanghai, it's a little more challenging. That's not a bad thing. Just have your Chinese dictionary ready, as I did. Okay, so anyway, guys, megalopolis. Find it on the test. What's next? Oh, cartography. I bet you don't know this one. Cartography. It's the art or science of drawing maps. Take a look at this. This is a beautiful map of Southeast Asia. And I don't know how well you can see this, guys, but it's not very accurate. This map, I'm not sure when it was drawn, maybe 1600s, 1500s. I'm not really sure because there's a lot of mistakes. When they drew this, they didn't really know the size of the islands or how many islands they were. Guys, don't get mad at me. I don't even see Korea on this map. But here you can see Indo, Sumatra. I guess this is Java. And take a look at the drawings. Can you guys see that? What's happening up over here? Anyway, cartography, the art and science of drawing maps. This is a map of the world from the North Pole. Actually, the continents are not especially interesting to me. By the way, let's see here. You can tell sometimes these maps are incomplete and certainly inaccurate. Here, they weren't even sure what was going. But I think there's a mosquito. I think the border is especially beautiful. Can you guys see that? Gorgeous. I can look at this for hours. It probably doesn't interest you as much as it does me, but it fascinates me. Again, there's many inaccuracies, and this is a polar view of the world. Okay. Just coincidentally, these are maps of Indonesia. You see the ship there? Must have been frightening to sail these waters. Here's a map of the Eastern Hemisphere. This one looks much more accurate, so I don't know when this was made, probably 1700s. By the way, interestingly, they label Hoju New Holland. I have to check my history on that. I did not know that. Here's a map of the Western Hemisphere. It looks backwards on your screen. This may or may not interest you guys, but I went to high school here. Take a look at this. I know you probably can't see it very well. There's a mosquito flying in front of the screen. Bah! I did not know where this was. Turns out, Canada. Yes, this is one of the islands close to the North Pole. Fascinating. But again, take a look at the detail. What is that? Yeah. My favorite maps are those with sea monsters. Take a look at this. So here's a ship and it's being attacked. I don't know what that is, guys. Is that a dragon? Some sort of sea serpent? I've seen maps that had whirlpools. And interestingly, guys, they probably believed it. You know, these mythical creatures. When you sailed to the end of the world, there were dragons or other dangers lurking. This is not a map, but a drawing, and it shows a giant octopus attacking a ship. Again, this is not a map, but it gives you some idea of the fears they had in their heart. Anyway, that's cartography. I spent too much time on that. Let's see here. Jito Jajak. Find it on the test, guys. Jito Jajak. I really like Jito Jajak. Okay, this next one, it's a verb, enchant. Please say it with me. Enchant. Enchanting. Enchanted. I think the history is like a magic spell. So for example, an enchanted forest. What do you think that means? A magical forest. Here there are magical mosquitoes buzzing around my ear. To please greatly, to charm. But guys, if you look at your synonyms, I underlined one. Delight. Delight. So, enchanted, delighted, just pleased. Let's see if I have a good example here. The audience, there's not much context here, but this is the first example. The audience was clearly enchanted by her performance. So maybe she was playing an instrument or ballet, and the audience was captivated. They were thrilled, pleased, delighted, charmed by her extraordinary performance. 이해하세요? So, enchanted or enchanting. Okay, moving on, guys. I'll try to go through these more quickly. You probably know this one. It's an adjective. Audible. Yes, it means heard or able to be heard. Do you know what the opposite of audible is? Inaudible. You just add the prefix in. Can you think of something audible? Yes, of course, our voices. And a mosquito buzzing around my ear, that's audible. I hate that at nighttime when you're asleep. You hear that buzz. That's certainly audible. There's a motorcycle passing behind me. Can you guys hear it? Is it audible? Oh, there it is. Guys, that happens to me all the time. Whenever I'm filming these videos, sometimes an ambulance will go by, or there's road construction, or people talking nearby. It's a real challenge to find a quiet place. Can you think of something that's audible? Now, guys, the number of examples is innumerable, but of course, the bicycle, you guys see that? He's actually helping me illustrate the point. Oh, there it is. Okay, anyway. Baby crying. Their cries are certainly audible. Cute couple chatting at a cafe. Their conversation is audible. Doesn't have to be something loud. Take a look at this, guys. I don't know how well you can see it. Leaves, dry leaves, rustling in the wind. Very tranquil. Ambulance. Whoa! It's the biggest mosquito I've ever seen. I'm under attack. Yeah! Thunder is audible. Guys, I know you've heard thunder before, but for some reason, it does not occur as often or as loud as it does in Miiguk. I don't say that out of patriotism. There's just something about that part of Canada and the United States. The weather conditions are different, and the thunder in Miiguk, it's like crack, pow! I call it a clap of thunder. And it will shake your soul. And sometimes, if a storm is brewing, you can hear thunder rolling in the distance. 이해했어요? So you can thunder rolling, but sometimes it feels very close. Now, I've given you a few examples, and these were just random examples. Can you think of something audible? What about this guy? It's a cicada. Sorry about the glare, guys. And these guys, wow, are really noisy in the summertime. Mr. Frog. Mr. Cricket. These are sounds of my childhood. Anyway, guys, audible. Yeah. Heard or able to be heard. Her voice was barely audible over the noise. I hope you can hear me. I'll just tell you an anecdote. I can't remember when this was, last semester before last. I recorded an epic video, and when I got home, I'm not sure why, but I had the video, but there was no audio. There was no sound, and I had to record it, the lecture, again the next day. I felt frustrated. Okay, moving on, guys. Audible, unique, so easy, you know this one. One of a kind. Unlike anything else. Unusual, distinctive, special. You are very unique, whereas I am decidedly average. Look at the example. I underlined it in my handout. She has one green eye and one blue eye, which is pretty unique, if you ask me. Take a look at this. Whoa, can you guys see that? Sorry about the glare. Look closely. Oh, my camera, come on. That's unique. Maybe you can see it better. This one. Whoa. This condition, I think it's genetic, a genetic anomaly. This condition is called heterochromia, which means two different colors. Interesting. And unique. I'm sorry about the glare, guys. Can you see it? Well, it wouldn't be a Scott video if there wasn't a cat. Yes, I like cats and I want to pet her. All right, moving on, guys. Unique? Okay. Next, senile. It's an adjective. Do you know this word, guys? I found the Korean translation, but I think the words are rude, so I won't say them. But senile is unable to think clearly and make decisions because of old age. 이해하세요? Being unable, guys, just right from your handout, I underlined it on mine. Hit pause if you want to. You see where I am? Unable to think clearly and make decisions because of old age. Now, guys, I'm not making a joke when I show this, but this is a photograph of an elderly woman who is senile. Okay, now I am joking here. Here's President Joe Biden. I like Joe Biden. You know, his policies, I think, are better than his predecessor. But some people say that Joe Biden is senile. I'm not joking. They say he shows signs of senility. But I think it's more of a political attack rather than a medical diagnosis. Iheheseo. So I think people who don't like Joe Biden's economic policy, they attack him because of his age. But, you know, to be fair, he is elderly. And so medically, I don't know, maybe he is senile, I don't know. All right, so that's senile. What's next? Did I skip one? No? All right, next one, easy. You probably know it. Seldom. Please say it with me. Seldom. It means infrequent, or rarely, or very simply, not often. You probably know it, and you might be thinking, Scott, why are you teaching me a word I already know? Answer, because I never hear you say it. So seldom just means rare or rarely. So I seldom attend class. Let's go to the next one. Loathe. I have on your handout here hate, but in my own mind it just means dislike. To dislike someone or something very much. Please say it with me. Loathe. Loathe. So, trying to think of an example. This semester, out of all your classes, are there any subjects in particular that you loathe? Are there any professors that you absolutely loathe? I'm trying to think of something I loathe. Well, This is not a great example, but just so you know how it works. I loathe being stuck in a traffic jam. I loathe people who are cruel to animals or something like that. Loathe, in Korean, I know this one. 혐오하다. 혐오하다. All right, guys, moving right along. Next one is a verb. You probably know it. Navigate. Navigate. Find the way to get to a place when you're traveling in a ship, airplane, or car. Okay. In Korean, let me try to say this. I practiced at home. 길을 찾다. 길을 찾다. Navigate. Take a look at this, guys. Do you know what this is? It's called a sextant. It's not a bad word. It's spelled S-E-X-T-A-N-T. Sextant. It's one word. Very cool. Here's an old one. For thousands of years, sailors navigated by the stars. This photograph, I don't know why, but this man looks like the captain of the Titanic. And you can see he's using a sextant. Sorry about the glare, guys. Well, this photo's better. When I was preparing for our lecture, I was thinking to myself, maybe that instrument, the sextant, maybe it's become obsolete with GPS, which is much more accurate. I wonder if there's any need. Maybe they still train sailors to use them, like as in an emergency. But these days, I think they're obsolete, or certainly antiquated. It means old-fashioned. Anyway, navigate. By the way, it doesn't have to be ship or airplane. I mean, oh, I forgot. I meant to bring a map of Seoul subway. I have an old one. Yes, I use Kakao Metro on my smartphone, but I do have a paper map of Seoul Metro a student gave me a long time ago. And I know you've seen maps of the subway, but this one, it's interesting. I wish I could show it to you. It's just drawn a little bit differently. All right, moving on, guys. Where am I? Navigate? Find it on the test. Next one. Oh gosh, I do this all the time. Do you remember the art and science of drawing maps? Cartography? Yes, I meant to show you this, guys. I saved the best for last. Take a look at this. This is a big one. You might recognize this from your history books. This one has a name. Yes, Daedong Yajido. Beautiful map. Look at that. I think it was drawn in the 1860s. Absolutely beautiful. Guys, I'll tell you a secret. Maybe you don't know this. You know, the largest banknote in Korea is Oman won, right? Maybe 10 years ago, they were contemplating introducing Shimman won banknote. True, absolutely true. You can check Naver. And ultimately, now we just use our debit card to pay for most transactions. But anyway, at the time, they were contemplating introducing a 100,000 won banknote. Obviously, they never did. And they were debating about the design. And I heard, I'm not making this up, guys, I heard that they were contemplating putting Pak Chung-hee on the front, and on the reverse, on the back, they were going to put Daedong Yajido on the back of the banknote. Just one problem. Do you remember those earlier maps, how they were incomplete? This is a beautiful map, but as you may know, Dokdo is missing from this map. So some people did not want to use this map or put it on the currency. Okay, anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. It drives me crazy when I forget to show something. All right, let's go to the next one, guys. It's an adjective. This is maybe the hardest one. It's not a hard word, but probably one you're unfamiliar with. Please say it with me. Forlorn. Like forlorn. Forlorn. Please say it with me. Forlorn. And make sure you enunciate the letter N at the end. Forlorn. Good. Better. Forlorn. Guys, forlorn, it means sad and unhappy. It's kind of complex. Sad, unhappy, alone. Take a look at this. Guys, I learn words all the time. Do you remember last week the vocabulary word salubrious? It means promoting health or something that's healthy. I learned that word watching Game of Thrones. And forlorn, I learned that word from this man. Do you know who he is? Do you recognize him? He's a British comic. His name is Charlie Chaplin. He was very popular in the early 20th century. And he became enormously popular. So here he is. This character is called the Tramp. And here he is with his friend hiding from the police, but they don't realize the policeman is standing right behind them. It's supposed to be humorous. Anyway, when Charlie Chaplin was born in England, he was impoverished. He was a pauper. Do you remember a pauper? He was a poor person. And as I understand, I'm not an expert on his biography, but his father abandoned his mother and provided no financial support whatsoever. And later, again, while Chaplin was still a boy, his mother went insane. She was mentally unwell, and she was committed to an asylum. Do you remember asylum? Yeah, it's a kind of hospital where sick people live. Anyway, he described that period of his life as being forlorn. His exact words were, "It was a forlorn existence." Charlie Chaplin is a funny man, and he made millions of people happy, but he himself, I think, deep down in his heart, may have been forlorn, certainly in his youth. So forlorn, sad, alone, unhappy. Okay, that's forlorn. Next, easy. Myth. You know myth, guys, in Korean. Shinhwa. An idea or story that is believed by many people but is not true. So guys, I don't want to go deep into a Greek mythology of Zeus and Poseidon, but let's see here. The Robin Hood stories are a good illustration of a myth from the Dark Ages or the Middle Ages. Can you think of a myth? When I was preparing for this lecture, I just wanted to think of a myth as an example, and my mind went blank. There are some really common ones, like if you break a mirror, it's 7 years bad luck. I don't know why 7. Anyway, I thought of a myth. It's an urban myth, and it has to do with pennies. This is roughly equal to ship won. Anyway, the myth is this. Do you know this building, guys? This is the Empire State Building in New York. And the myth is, so there's an observation deck. You can take the elevator up here and get really nice views of the city, take photographs. But the myth is, if you drop a penny onto someone down on the street, it will kill them. That's the myth. It's not true. So here's a penny. And if you go yogi, the idea is if you drop it on someone's head, it could kill them. By the way, this is the new World Trade Center in the background. By the way, I think it's certainly against the rules to throw anything, whether it's a plastic bottle or, I don't know, airplane, like paper airplane. You're not allowed to throw anything from the building. It would hurt, but it would not kill you. Anyway, that's the myth. If you drop a penny from the Empire State Building and it hits someone, it could kill them. Not true. Painful and rude, but not deadly. All right, guys, so that's myth. Next one, it's a verb. speculate. I use this word. To think about something and make guesses about it. So, do students enjoy my lecture? I hope so, but in truth, I can only speculate. I can only make a guess. In Korean, 생각하다. 생각하다, to speculate. What about this? Just a quick example, guys. This is the fall semester. What about the spring? Will it be online? Will it be half and half? I think we will meet face to face, but again, right now, we can only speculate what the university or government policy might be next year. So speculate, 생각하다. I recommend you use that word. Okay, this next one, guys, out of all the words, I use this one myself the most. Uneventful. Just means nothing exciting. Having nothing exciting, interesting, or important happening. So whenever I see my students, I always ask them, "Hi, how was your weekend?" And they always say the same thing. Good. Even if it's not good, they'll say good, or I drank alcohol. Guys, this is much better. So, how was your weekend? It was uneventful. Very simple sentence. Please say it with me. It was uneventful. Again, it was uneventful. Or if you like, you can just say one word. How was your weekend? Uneventful. Just means nothing special. I didn't do anything. I'm trying to think of an example. Oh my God. In Korean, 특별한, wait, I can do better. 특별한 일이 없는. Wow. Uneventful. Usually, I'm not sure why, but whenever someone is leaving, like they're about to catch a flight, I will say, I hope your flight or I hope your journey is uneventful. And by that I mean no delays or cancellations or any sort of troubles. So I hope your journey is uneventful. I hope your flight is uneventful. So nothing special, safe, quiet, nothing happening, just get home quickly and safely. 특별한 일이 없는. Wow. Hey, how was your weekend? Uneventful? Mine too. Okay, next one, guys. I'll try to go through these a little more quickly. Multitude means many, or what do I have here? A great number. Look, guys, I underlined it in my paper. A great number of people or things. But in my own mind, guys, multitude. Please say it with me. Multitude. Many. Let's see here. In Korean, oh, so easy. 다수. 다수. For example, when we go to Baskin Robbins, I think there are, how many flavors? 21 flavors? I don't know. Anyway, whenever we go to Baskin Robbins, there are a multitude of choices. A multitude of choices. What does that mean? A great number or many. After the midterm exam, I received a multitude of complaints. Okay, next one, quandary. Please say it with me. This is a noun. Quandary. Quandary. It means dilemma or I don't want to say problem. It means to be uncertain about something, a state of doubt or confusion. So I was in a quandary about what to do. So in plain English, I was unsure or uncertain. So most of you watching this video are freshmen, and in the not too distant future, you will have to choose a second major. And sometimes students are in a quandary what they should major in. So I have an example similar to that. So when the time came for Lisa to select a subject to major in, she found herself in a quandary. So in a state of doubt or confusion. In Korean, Jin Tui Youngnan. The truck, diesel truck is audible. Okay, moving right along, guys. Next one, vulnerable. It's an adjective. Please say it with me. Vulnerable. Vulnerable. I have a really simple definition. Capable of being hurt or injured. Capable of being hurt or injured. Capable of being wounded or hurt. For example, like by a weapon. A vulnerable part of the body. Tourists, this comes right from your handout here, guys. Tourists are more vulnerable to attack because they don't know which areas of the city. Is it audible? There's a bus going by. Tourists are more vulnerable to attack because they don't know which part of the city to avoid. In Korean, 취약한. Study it. Find it on the test. 취약한. Vulnerable. By the way, on the handout, I emphasize physical injury, but it could also be emotionally vulnerable as well. Okay, moving on, guys. 2 more and we're done. This is the penultimate example, number 19, prevaricate. Prevaricate, that's just a fancy word for lie. To tell an untruth. Let's see here. For example, hey Scott, did you go to Starbucks today? Yes, I went there this morning. So I prevaricated. 이해했어요? I just flat out lied. Prevaricate means to lie, but it also means to avoid telling the truth or saying exactly what you think. In English, there's a word for that. It's called equivocate. It's in your synonyms, but you don't have to know that. Just letting you know that's the meaning. So avoid telling the truth. So for example, if my friend asks me, hey Scott, do you like my new pair of shoes? And in my heart, I don't, for whatever reason. I don't like the color, I don't think they're fashionable, whatever the reason, I do not like his or her shoes. And they ask, hey Scott, do you like my new shoes? And I say, interesting. Maybe my friend can detect that I'm prevaricating, and he or she might say, Scott, tell me the truth. Do you like my new shoes? And then I'll say, oh, okay, they're terrible. 이해했어요? So prevaricate means to lie or avoid telling the truth. Yes. In Korean, aha, 가진 말하다. 가진 말하다. Prevaricate, prevaricating, prevaricated. So take a look. Here we have the king of lies. I won't even say his name. I'll just say he's a snake. And just for fun, Here's the back of his head, which is amusing. But I have to admit, he has more hair than me, and that's not fair. All right, guys, so what does prevaricate? To lie. All right, moving on, guys. Last one, instill. This is a verb. To put a feeling, an idea, or some principle gradually, little by little, into someone's mind, so that it has a strong influence on the way they behave or think. Did you get that, guys? Put a feeling or idea or some principle gradually into someone's mind so that it strongly influences the way they think or behave. Usually parents instill ideas or perspectives in us. For example, the importance to work hard. This is not on your handout, but your mom and dad, or could be friend or teacher, could instill courage, kindness, patience, instill respect, love, compassion, instill a love of learning, wisdom. Look at the examples, guys. It's right from your handout here. See where I am? It is part of a teacher's job to instill confidence in his or her students. Instill confidence. Look at the last example. I'm paraphrasing, but great professors instill in their students a love of learning. In other words, they inspire them to want to learn more and more. Do any of your professors instill a love of learning? No? Well, maybe someday. Now, students, I'll stop the video here. I will see you very soon. Goodbye for now.